Yeah, it is fine.
Good. The weather is nice there?
It's a bit hot.
All right. Yeah, here also during the day.
Sorry?
Here also during the day, it's a bit hot in Morocco.
Yeah, during the day, of course.
Thank you.
Yes. Now it's a bit cooler.
So let's get started. I'm going to share with you the slides first. Okay, so do you see my screen? Yes, please. Great, thank you. Okay, so just as a reminder, it's the free 25 TEFL course here in Rabat from September 11th to September 28th, and this is the second week. And last week, we covered several topics, starting from approaches and methods in teaching and learning. Then we moved to how to teach reading reading actively. And this is the second week. And yesterday, we covered a very interesting topic. Is about how to teach, reading. Reading, communicatively. Great. Today's lesson will be about how to teach listening actively. And remember last time we talked about the receptive skills, and we said that most teachers consider them as passive skills. And your job as a teacher to motivate your learners to be active learners in your classes. Okay, so this free TEFL course is organized by Global Bus Foundation, Morocco. Great, so let's get started. So let's move on to the next, about the aims. So today's session is about teaching listening actively. And here the keyword is actively, communicatively, interactively. And these are the major aims I'm going to cover. Number one, there will be introduction. What is listening? What is not good listening, etc. Then we will move to the challenges. What problems the teachers may face when they are teaching listening? What problems students may face while they are listening to the listening lesson? And here we are going to see also some types of listening text, different types, of course, because we should have a variety of listening lessons. Not all the time using songs, but we can have other types. And of course, if you want to facilitate the listening task for your learners, what do we need? We should know about the sub-skills and the stages. Here we can talk about the strategies, the techniques, the skills, etc. Yes, and after all these, we are going to put these things into actions. We are going to implement, so classroom implications. You, the audience, are going to design your own listening activities. Okay, just 1 second. Thank you. To admit some others. And the last part is recommendations. Okay, great. So let's move on to the next slide here. Very easy question. What is listening? When we talk about teaching English as a foreign language, what comes in your mind when you hear the word listening? Any volunteers? So let's see. You see in the chat box, Dris said, pay attention to sound. Sarah, training students to hear well the new language. Good, that's interesting. Yes, Now, I want you to focus more on teaching English as a foreign language. What do we mean by listening? So here, Wahida said, paying attention to words. Can you see here our audience? Yes, Sihan, please use the mic.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so listening in teaching English as a foreign language, I think is to listen to different varieties and different accents. Rather, that's it. That's it.
Thank
Yes.
you. So listening to different sounds, different accent. Great. Yes. Others? Here we have Raja, reception of input by auditory system. Great. Hindberry, understand all messages. Listening is hearing plus understanding. Thank you. Nasira, it's the process of receiving spoken information. Wardi Asma, we listen to understand what others can say. Sundus, our great teacher from Algeria, interpreting message from sender to receiver through a channel. Thank you. Wonderful. Yes, others, what do you think? Muhammad, hearing from a long time. So let's see our audience on YouTube, what they have wrote, or what they have written, sorry. Great. So Hafida said, decode different sounds, words, utterances. Firdaus, listening involves catching sounds by the ear and to translate them in the mind. Rabia, receiving sounds and utterances. Great, thank you. So let's see here. Very interesting points we have mentioned, okay. Good, now listening number one is a receptive skill. When we talk about teaching English as a foreign language or as a second language, what do we mean by listening is a receptive, we categorize it. Number two, listening is about responding to language more than producing it and making a meaning of the language. Okay, great. Listening refers to your understanding of spoken language. Spoken language and written language are two different types. So these are, some definitions of what do we mean by listening: receptive, responding, understanding, etc. Okay, is this clear so far? Then we can move on to the next slide. Great, thank you. Now, here, another very important question. What makes listening challenging? Can you think about it? Here we talk about the problems. So let me give you 1 minute, take notes, and then all right, so let's see here. So for Musa said ambiguous words and clear accent. Raja, some external factors might affect. Great. Nadia, the accent of the speaker. Siha, meaning and clear pronunciation. Sana, talking fast when you can screen the words clearly. Great. Raja, such as bad pronunciation. Muhammad Bizri, the I don't understand the point there. Wahida trying to understand the sounds, shortened forms. Nasira, the context, if it is not clear or familiar. Wonderful, okay. What about here? Ikram, ambiguous meaning plus unclear accent. There is not recognizing the words. Very interesting points you mentioned. Great. What about our audience on YouTube? Let's see. Great. Muhammad, we have different accents and foreign language. Yeah. Yes, Firdaus said what makes listening challenging is when the teacher starts by very complex pronunciation for students that would not be easily understood by them. Great. Rabia said the difficulty to catch sounds. Okay, thank you. So let's see here some reasons. Good. So look here. Why listening is more difficult than reading? And here we can talk about two. The process of listening and the nature of listening text. Number one, learners have no control over the speed of the text. Is it the process of listening or the nature of listening text? Is it one or two? What do you think? Can we do it all together? One or two? So Sukain said number two. Yes, number two. Raja two. Siham two. Musa, Dris number one. Ilham two. Wow, Sophia. Yeah, number two. Okay. Nasira, one and two? No, just one answer. Najia, it depends. Now here there's just one answer. Nadia, number one. All right, very interesting. Great. Rabia on YouTube said number two. Okay. Leila, number one. Asma, number two. Sundus, number two. Yes, Sundus, thank you. Our great teacher from Algeria. It's number one. It's number one. Learners have no control over the speed. Okay, it's the process of listening, the process. Okay, now I would like to give you 2 minutes. Do number 2, 3, 4 to 6. Okay, just try to write the right answer. Is it the process or the nature of listening text? Okay. Yeah, our audience on YouTube, Rabia 2, Maryam 2, Maryam Znuti 2, Ilham Zgwini 2, Firdaus Sami 2, Asma Shteti number 2. Great. Now let's move on to number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yes, try to read carefully, then you can answer. All right, so let's see. There is noise in the recording. Okay, there is noise in the recording. Is it the process? Is it number 1 or 2? So Wahida number 1, Muhammad number 2. Okay, Sana number 1. All right. Number 2. Yes, it is number 2. There is noise in the recording. Yes, because when there is noise, we as listeners, we get distracted. Yeah. So you may not hear the sound very well or the answer, etc. Great. So let's write here. So number 1 is here. Sorry. And here, there is noise is number 2. Now, listening takes place in real life. Listening takes place in real life. 1 or 2. 1 or 2. Siham said 2. Sibyl said 2. Sarah said 2. Okay. Yes, it is number 2. Thank you. So number 3 is number 2. Wonderful. Now, speakers in the listening have different accents. Different accents. Is it number 1 or 2? Muhammad number 1, Siham number 2. Number 2. Sorry. I'm talking here about number 3. Sorry. Listening takes place in real life. Let's repeat again. Listening takes place in real life. So Siham said number 2. It's nature or the process. 2. Muhammad Nasira 2. Okay. What do you think? Wahida number 1. Ikram number 1. Yes, it's here. It's the process of listening. Number 3, yeah. Listening takes place in real life, the process of listening. Now, speakers in the listening have different accents. Speakers in the listening have different accents. Is it 1 or 2? Yeah, very confusing, okay. But here the majority said number 2. Yes, it's number 2. So let's write number 4 here. Great. Now, learners have no time to pause and think about the content of the text. What do you think? Is it 1 or 2? Sophia said 1, Siham 1. Thank you. It's number 1. So number 5 is here. Great. Number 6, speakers in a conversation speak quickly. Speakers in a conversation speak quickly. Muhammad, Muhammad said 2, Wahida 2, Sophia 2, Nadia 1. Yeah. Here are there is a conversation. What is conversation? Conversation is a text. So it's number 2. It's number 2. Okay. So number 6. Great. So these are some challenges, some problems that both teachers and students may face. Okay, great. So let's move on to the next one. Here, a situation. Laura is a teacher. I want someone to read this situation and to answer question number 1 and 2. Okay, so Asma, please read the situation. Activate your mic, Asma.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So Laura told her colleague about yesterday's listening lesson. Laura said, I was very happy to teach a listening lesson about 3 people talking about their vocations. I wanted to help my learners and said they could listen as many as they like to understand everything about the conversations. After listening several times, she was shocked that all students complained, saying they understood nothing. They are now frustrated because they think that listening is too challenging. Question number 1, what was wrong with Laura's way of teaching. Question number 2, what could she have done? Thank you.
Thank you, Asma. This is a very interesting situation that may happen to you or me or any one of us, and we are going to learn from it. I would like to give you 3 minutes. I want you to reflect on this situation, answering question 1 and 2. Take your time. Any volunteer to reflect? Any volunteer? So let's see here, our participant. Yes, Muhammad, use the mic.
Yes. Good evening.
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
It's the Laura, Mrs. Laura. She doesn't use some materials to present the lesson, such as she hasn't presented the pictures like the pictures, so as to make the learners in the context, as an example.
Thank you. So there was no context. Wonderful, yes. Muhammad. Thanks. Let me move to Najia. Okay, yes, please. Activate your mic.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
This the listening about like using pictures or songs or something like that to create
yeah, I'm sorry, Najia, the sound is broken. It's not clear. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's see here on YouTube. Our audience said, Abdelilah Qasserras, providing learners with too many opportunities to listen to the extent that they got lazy because they know she will replay the track. Thank you. Leila Hassani, no pre-task to introduce the listeners to the topic of the lesson. Ismail, I guess Laura failed to select a suitable listening text concerning the level. Great. Leila Hassani again, 3 conversations are quite a lot for EFL learners. For those students may get bored and lazy when the same listening text is repeated for them. She would rather use pre-task or some keys like visual aids to contextualize the text. Thank you. Ilham Zgwini, we have to take into consideration several things such as the level of the students, the appropriate listening lesson, and the materials used. Great. Hafida, Laura should pre-teach vocab first, then present the listening material. Great. And here we have Abdelkawi Idris. She was supposed to pick 3 students and make them read it because it's a dialogue. Sarah, she did not select, etc. That's interesting, very interesting point again. Great. So again, Listening is not just about listen to the audio, to the tape, to the conversation, but listening is a process. Why? Because students are very scared when it comes to listening. They are more scared than writing or reading or grammar or vocab. Oh my God, do I have to understand every single word? Is the listening difficult? Is the speaker speaking too fast or slowly? So there are many questions that the students are worried about. Your job as a teacher is to pave the way, is to prepare them, is to create contacts, is to build interest, is to motivate first. Then you start with the activities. Which one should start first? The second, the third. So listening is a process. So let's see here. The feedback. The teacher did not know how to use the listening sub-skills to practice. She didn't know. She just told her learners to listen many times. This is not listening. Listening is a process. Number two, to order the different listen activities. She did not know which activity must be first. Is it the pre-reading activities? Then we move to the while, then the post. In the pre-reading, which ones are the first to start with? Okay. Here, for students, they did not know how to listen effectively. Why? Because they listened and listened and listened, which means they focus on details. And here we go back to the teacher's job. She did not know how to order the different listening activities. When we are teaching listening, we don't start with details. Okay. We never start with activities asking for details. Number two, the students did not know how to listen effectively. Why? They try to understand every single word rather than the main ideas. That's why students ask many questions. Oh my God, do I have to understand every single word? It's your job as a teacher. No problem. Don't worry. It's okay. So in the listening, we start step by step, okay? You pre-teach, you use VA, production, etc. Then we move to general, specific, then to details. Okay, great. Now, what we have to learn about this situation is this one, sorry, is that listening is a process. And it's very important to employ the sub-skills, step by step. But asking the learner to listen and listen many times will not help him or her to understand the listening lesson. And Hindberry said, listening should be for a purpose. Thank you. Why you use that lesson? Why you are using that task? Yeah, listening should be for a purpose. Always provide students with a task to perform so that they listen actively. Tasks should be well graded from simple to complex. For a jest, for specific information, for details, yes. Thank you, Hindberry, our inspector from Algeria. Great. Any comments so far? And here, Wilson Alonso said, we must learn chunks. Great. Ideas and all the sentences. All right. Yes, Ismail said, students should not be allowed to listen for many times more than needed. Thank you, Ilham. And in this situation, Laura should create the right atmosphere to prepare them. Great point. Rabia, maybe the pre-listening stage is missed here. She moved directly to the listening stage. Yeah, Wilson Alonso, say hello. Yes, hello, Alonso. I'm doing great. Thank you. Now let's move on to the next. Types of listening checks. Now, when you are teaching listening, novice teachers all the time, or most of the time, focus on listening conversations, dialogues, or songs. But there are different types of listening checks. Can you remind me, what are these types? Give me some Sibyl said lectures. Thank you, Sibyl. Wonderful. Siham, tape, video, audio. Great. Bizri Muhammad, audio clips. Announcement. Thank you, Muhadis from Iran. Great. Yes, announcement. Thank you. What else? Debates. Great. Leila, it should be interesting. Al-Wardi Asma, interviews. All right. Great. Leila Hassani, what are the listening sub-skills? We are going to discuss these in details. Muhadi, songs. Saeed, movies. Musa, debates. Maryam, short music. Bizri, photos. Leila Hassani, songs. Tariq, storytelling. Thank you, I like it. Musa, it depends on the level of learners. Interesting points. Wardi Asma, oral reports. Great. Leila, audio and visual. Muhadis, monologues. Leila, Ghaidour, a discussion. Yes, Saeed Yusfi. All right. Good. Thank you. So let's see here some types. These are the types. Conversations is the queen, the king. We all the time use conversations. Stories, lectures, instructions. The director's instructions, the doctor's instructions, your friend instructions, how to go to this place. Okay. Songs. These are one of my favorites. Announcements. Variety is the key to have a successful lesson. Don't focus only on one type of listening text, but vary your materials. Okay, great. And here, as some of you said, it depends on the level of your learners. Okay. Abdul Malik said stories, songs, movies, news, reports, etc. Wonderful. Thank you. Now here, the sub-skills, they are the same like reading. Lesson or reading skill, it's the same like listening. The sub-skills that will help you to motivate, to prepare, to build interest, to encourage your learners to understand the listening is listening for specific information, infer attitude or the mood of the speaker, pre-teach vocab, it's also a sub-skill. Predicting is a sub-skill. Listening for jazz. Remember yesterday, some of you asked me, what's the difference between jest and skimming? I said, they are interchangeably used the same. Somehow they are the same, okay? So listening for jest is skimming. Listening for specific information is scanning, okay? Then we have predicting, etc. Wonderful. Great, so these are the sub-skills that we can use when we are teaching listening. Remember we talked about the two processes. Can you remind me, what are these two processes? Yes, sir. What are they? Thank you, Nasira. Top down and bottom up. Thank you, Nasira. Musa. I want someone to remind me, what do we mean by top down versus bottom up? So top down versus bottom up. So moving to the specific. So top down, moving to the specific. Top down from general to specific. Thank you, Sibyl. Okay. From general to specific. Great. And bottom up is, yeah, within the text. Great. Now, pre-teach vocab. Pre-teach vocab. Is it before or during or after listening? Pre-teach vocab. This one. Pre-teach vocab. Thank you. The majority said before. Great. Now, is it top down or bottom up? Very interesting question. Is it top down or bottom up? So Nasira said top down, Sophia bottom up, Ikram bottom up. Yes, very interesting question. Pre-teach vocab. Are you going to, where are you going to use these words? Where are you going to take them? To take them from where? You are going to take them, to select them from the text. It's bottom up. It's bottom up, which means we cannot say that bottom up is all the time outside the text, and top down, sorry, is all the time in the beginning, and bottom up or top down is all the time, etc. So here, top down and bottom up can be both before or during, in the beginning or in the middle. Okay. Thank you. So Leila said bottom up, Sophia, cause of the use of the text, because the words are taken from the text. So it is bottom up. Bottom up. We take them from the text. Great. Wellington Alonso said, I have to go, dear coach and fellows. Yeah. Thank you. Said big hi to India. Okay. Leila, Raido said before, Firdaus before. Thank you. Now, prediction. Prediction. Is it top down or bottom up? Prediction. Prediction. Top down or bottom up? So top down, Siham, Sarah, top down, Wardi, top down, Nasira, top down. Yes, sir. Top down. Thank you. Great job. Now we all agree. All right. Great. Now, infer. Infer the attitude of the author. Hafsa Kazim, good evening. Yes, good evening. Thank you, Hafsa Kazim from Saudi Arabia. Thanks. So it's top down. Thank you, Sundus, Nasira, wonderful. Listening for specific information. Listening for specific information. What do you think? So Wahida, bottom up, bottom up. Okay, thanks. Listening for general. For general. Top down, bottom up. Top down, Sarah, top down. Yeah, like look at the picture, read the title, and yeah, tell me the text. All right, etc. Great. Thank you. Very interesting points. Is it clear so far? Then we can move on to the next one. And here Hafida Mukrin says bottom up, Firdaus top down, Latifa Shakir bottom up, Leila Hassani bottom up, Rabia bottom up, Ilham, etc. Top down. Great, thank you. So let's move on to the next one. Good. Now, look here. This is a Moroccan textbook. Moroccan text. It's listening for Common Core. Common Core is the 10th grade. The first year at the high school, the first year at the high school, the 10th grade. Now, read the listening lesson taken from Ticket to English Moroccan textbook. No, sorry, it's not the Common Core. It's the first year back, which means the second year at the high school. The second year at the high school is Ticket to English. And now you have to identify the stages and the purpose of all tasks. What are the tasks? Let's identify first the tasks. So this is task number 1, study. Task number 2, listen 1. Then we have listen 2. Then we have 3, listen. Then we have follow up. These are the tasks. Now let's get started. Number 1, which stage? Study the title. Number 1. Any volunteer? Yes. So let's see here. Okay. Yes, Wahida, please use the mic.
Hello, teacher. Hello,
Hello.
everyone. I think that number 1 is predicted. Because you have to study the title and guess what the 4 people are going to talk about.
Yes, Wahida, my
Yes.
question.
Yes.
Number one, what is the stage? Is the pre or the while or the post?
It's the pre-listening stage. Number 1.
Wonderful, great. And here, number one, listen to the 4 people. What is this?
It is the while listening stage. Listen to 4 people and check your guesses.
And number 2?
Listen carefully and complete this table. So I think it's still while listening stage.
Great, thank you. Number 3?
Number 3, listen and match the names with their feelings. Is it a while listening stage? No?
What do you think?
I'm not sure. I think it's we are still on a while listening stage. No?
And the last one, follow up?
I can't see it.
Follow up. What is the biggest problem you have ever had during your trip?
It is the post-listening stage.
When was it? C, what happened exactly? D, tell your friends all the details.
It is the post-listening stage.
Thank you. So now let me give the audience 4 minutes. So these are the stages. Now what's the purpose for each task? Please take notes. The purpose for each task. 3 minutes. So let's discuss all together. So number 1, study the title and guess what the 4 people are going to talk about. What's the purpose of this task? What's the purpose? Build interest, Siham. Prediction, Sarah. Okay, prediction, building interest. Prediction, socializing, Nadia. Sophia, contextualize, Hind. I like that book. The activities are well graded, helpful for teachers. Thank you. Tariq, pre-listening. Muhadis, motivate. Prediction, to build interest. Warm up, Sibyl. Muhadis, guessing. Nadia, motivating. Abdul bin Dawood on YouTube said prediction. Okay. Rabia said the first stage draws student interest and motivate them to be ready for listening. Thank you, all of you. You have got the great points. It's to create context, to prepare, to motivate, to build interest. Those are the major purposes. It's about guessing, predicting. Okay, thank you. Now, the second one, listen to the 4 people and check your guesses. What's the purpose of this one? What's the purpose? Listen for jest, for specific information. Number 1, listening for details, Sibyl said. From observing to listening. All right. Yes, so listen to the 4 people and check your guesses. Yeah, it's for jest. Listening for general ideas, okay. Yeah, but here it depends on the listening again. Great. Number 2, listen carefully and complete this table. Listen carefully and complete this table. Task number 2, what do you think? It's listen for specific, Wahida said. Specific, Sarah, listen for specific. Bizri Muhammad for specific. Interesting. Okay. Yes, sir. Siham is scanning. All right. Yes, it can be both. Listening for specific and details. All right. And here, Ben Dawood said, listen for specific ideas. Wonderful. Great. Anas Zamuri on YouTube said, listening for specific information. Thank you. Great. It can be specific and details. Okay, good. Because here we have the keyword is listen carefully and complete this table. Latifa Shakir, listening for specific. Now let's move to number 3. Listen and match the names with their feelings. What's the purpose? The purpose. Inferring. Wahida, thank you. Is deducing, drawing conclusions. Thank you. Okay. Deduction, Siham. Great job. Thanks. So is it specific or general? Deduction of the mean, Ikram. Thank you. Yes. Now, I want you just to compare, please. Compare task 1, 2, and 3. And as Hindberry, we are designing the listening lesson. You should start from easy, difficult, challenging. The complexity of the text, you have to pay attention. All right, great. Yes, Firdaus said it's inferring. Wonderful. Great. Now, follow up. What is the biggest problem you have ever had during your trips? When was it? What's this? What's the purpose? What's the purpose? Nadia producing, Sarah to produce, Muad engaging, Siham production stage. Wonderful. Yes, sir. For specific Leila, Nasira production. Great. Here to share the experience. Wonderful. Sibyl internalize the listening. Yeah, practicing, Saeed said. Muad is sharing. Wahida, activation stage. Sophia to have a feedback. Great. Yes, Ben Dawood on YouTube said production. Thank you, Nadia. Encourage students to talk. Yes, here we encourage our learners to use their own words to produce the language. Now is the job of our learners, or for our learners to produce the language. How? Giving feedback, reflecting, sharing, discussing, debating, writing, playing roles, etc. But here the purpose to produce the language, to use your own words. Thank you. Sarah Munajli said production and motivation. Rabia to produce and share. Thank you. Great. Yes, next. Great, so let's move on to the next one. No comments so far? Great, no comment? Okay, thank you. Okay. So let's move on to the next slide. Thank you. The next one here. Stages of reading or listening lesson, because both are receptive skills. Now, I want you to put these stages into the correct order, Pre-listening task, while listening task, post-listening task. Can we do it all together? I want a volunteer here on Zoom to read the first statement or the first, yeah. Anyone here? Any volunteer? Yes, Bizri Muhammad, can you please read? Activate your mic. All right. Anyway, Sana Raib, please use the mic. activate your mic.
Put these stages in the correct order. A, the teacher sets a task for free practice, asking students to write a dialogue about their favorite hobbies. B, the teacher sets a gist listening task. Who likes flying a kite? Why does she like it? He plays the tape to check answers. C, the teacher presents some key vocab in the listening text, such as flying kite, karate, boxing, etc. D, the teacher generates interest in topic, asking the class about their favorite hobbies. E, students read the transcript of the recording and listen at the same time. F, the teacher sets a listening task for specific information. She plays the tape again and checks the answers.
Thank you, Sana. Thanks a lot. Great. Now, I would like to give you 4 minutes. Okay, and then you put them into order. But can we do number all together? What do you think, number one? The first one, what do you think? So 3, it's is it A, B, or C? A, B, or C, number one? No, give me number one, the first activity, the first, no. I'm talking about A, B, C, D, E, F. What is number one? The first stage in listening. C. So Sibir C. Wahida C. Tariq C. Okay, Sophia. Alamu, okay, Musa C. So let's read here. See, the teacher presents some key vocab in the listening text, such as flying a kite, karate, boxing. And Miriam said, I think it's D. The teacher generates interest in the topic, asking the class about their favorite hobbies. Yeah, very confusing. I'm just going to answer. Okay, now I would like to give you 4 minutes. Think about all of them. Yes, 4 minutes and we discuss. Take notes. So, think about it. Are they very confusing? What do you think? So remember, we have 3 stages. The pre-listening. You build interest, you prepare, you motivate. Then while listening, students practice. They listen and they answer. After that is the production, the post-listening. They use their own words. Great. So let's start one by one. So what's, yeah, all together, please. Let's start with the first one. Some of you here said, let me see. Okay, so the majority said C is the pre. But another answer, someone said C and maybe D. Okay, great. D, good. Number three, yeah, the third stage. The third stage. So task number 1 is C, task number 2 is D. A, the teacher sets a task for free practice, asking students, what do you think? Sukain said A, Siham said A. Muhadi said B. B, Rahim B. Sarah Glimi. Okay. Yes, let's see, it's B. The teacher sets a just listening task. Who likes flying a kite? Why does she like it? B, let's write it here. All right. Good. Now, what about the next one after B? You are going to see the correction, by the way. We are just, the correction is based on what you tell me here, what you write in the chat box. Latifa Shakir said number 1 is A. Ismail said D, pre-while. A is post listening, A. Thank you. A is post listening. It's a free practice. Thank you. So A is free practice. Great. What about D? E, students read the transcript of the recording and listen at the same time. E is Y. And F, the teacher sets a listening task. So we can say here F, and then there is a E. Okay, great. You agree? Do you agree, or what do you think? Raja said B is while. Shayma said B is while. Siham said B is while. So the teacher says just listening task. Who likes flying a kite? Why does she like it? He plays the tape to check. Nadia said both. I would go for Nadia's answer. I would go for Nadia's answer, both. Because before listening, okay, and then they listen. Because here you are asking them. You are not asking about, yeah. But if you are asking about the text, then it is the why. If you are asking learners, who do you like flying a kite? You. It's the pre. But if you tell them you listen, and then you tell me who likes in the text, who is the speaker, that is the why. Thank you. So let's correct this one, and we can write it here. It's B. Great. So let's correct it here. Do you agree? Yeah. Ikram said E is also while listening. E. Students read the transcript of the recording and listen. Do you think that E is while? E and B, yeah. Yeah, it's while. Great. Yes, so everyone, yeah, Fadwa, Firdaus agrees. Yes, sir. B is pre and while. Okay, thank you. Now let's see the correction. Let's see the correction. So this is the answers. A, the teacher generates interest in topic, asking the class about their favorite hobbies. The listening text is about hobbies. You can start. Hello, my learners. How are you? Great. Yeah. What do you like? What are your favorite hobbies? Do you like flying a kite? Flying a kite. And you write it, pretty. It's a flying a kite, okay. To fly a kite, it's a verb. Or do you like swimming or playing karate? So karate is a noun. So this is generating. Teacher generates interest in topic and asking the class about their favorites. Now, can you compare with your friend? Okay. Discuss with your partner. Okay. Ask and answer. What's your favorite hobby? My favorite, etc. Okay. B, the teacher presents some key vocab. Flying a kite, playing or doing karate, or swimming, or going swimming, or to go swimming, etc. These are vocab about the listening. C, the teacher says a just listening task. This is the why listening. Who likes flying a kite? Why does she like it? Why does she like it? Which means that she is in the text, is in the tape. He plays the tape, the teacher plays the tape to check answers. D, the teacher sets a listening task for specific information, like true, false, WH questions, etc. E, students read the transcript of the recording and listen at the same time. They listen and read. And the last one, F, the teacher sets a task for free practice, production, post listening, asking students to write a dialogue about their favorite hobbies. Okay. Nadia said, this is what I do in my class. Thank you, Nadia. Is it clear so far? Yes, please. Do you agree with the answers suggested here? Great. Yes, Anas said the image is unclear. Is it unclear? Can you see the slides, yes or no? Thank you. So Siam said that it's okay. Is it clear or not? Yeah, thank you, Sibyl Muhadi. It's clear. Thanks. So Anas, I guess you have to check about your connection. Thank you. Great, let's move on. Now, the listening steps. Pre-listening activities. You can start with introducing the topic. How? You can introduce the topic using visual aids. Or you can start with a word map or a mind map. Hobbies. Give me examples like brainstorming. Yes, swimming, soccer, dancing, fishing. Go to the board, write them, and they write. Great. Introduce the topic, brainstorming. Great. Yeah, as Sibyl said, connection. Sophia, short discussion. Great. Using visual aids. Look at the picture. What do you see? Oh, a woman. What is she doing? She's swimming. Great. Do you like swimming? Yes, I like swimming. Thank you. And you, what's this? Oh, it's a playing soccer. Good. Do you like it? Yes. Who is your favorite soccer player? Yes, Messi or Ronaldo? Teacher Messi, Teacher Ronaldo, I don't like Messi. And here you are creating an enjoyable learning environment. Do you like Madrid or Barcelona? Raja or Widad? Okay, شبيبة القبائل or اتحاد الجزائر or something like that. Okay, you are here creating an enjoyable learning environment. Yes, then we have prediction. Can you guess? Read the title, look at the picture. Can you guess the text or the listening might be about what? Can you give me some examples? Or focus questions. Look at the picture. What is this person doing? What is he playing, etc. Key vocab. You can write on the board 4 vocab. Flying a kite, going swimming, doing karate, playing soccer. Now, from these key vocab, can you guess the main idea of the listening will be about? Okay, and all these to activate your students' schemata, your students' prior knowledge. Okay, is it clear so far? Yeah, Rahim Salim said Riyad Mahrez. Yes, Riyad Mahrez is one of the best players in the world. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Now, while listening activities, different listening activities like WH questions, true, false statement, multiple choice answers or questions, activities are based on listening subskills from general to specific. Okay. And post-listening activities relating to the topic, to students' lives. For example, write a short paragraph about your favorite hobby. Write a conversation with your partner about your favorite hobbies. Okay. Giving opinions. Do you agree that swimming is healthy? Do you agree that swimming is dangerous? Compare and contrast. Yeah, compare and contrast with your partner. Write in a short paragraph. So there are different ways, okay, of putting activities into order. Miriam said, one question, please. To create an enjoyable environment listening. Brainstorming is about what exactly? Brainstorming is about generating ideas from your learners. From the very beginning, I want to start with a listening lesson. And the listening lesson is about hobbies. I'm going to start with the word hobbies. What do you know about hobbies? Yes, please. Oh, free time activities. Thank you. Give me examples. Fishing, dancing, writing, drawing. This is brainstorming. Is it clear, Mariam? Mazouza, so far? Thank you. Yes, thank you. Great. Now, my question, please. The while listening, and as Mrs. Hind Barry said, something very important. We start from easy to difficult tasks. Great. We call them, when we are teaching English as a foreign language, there are two types of tasks: production tasks and recognition tasks. Great. So my question here for the while listening, are you going to start for the while listening? Are you going to start with the listen and tick, or listen and answer the WH questions? This is my question. Listen and tick, or listen and answer the WH questions? Sarah Dilimi, Sada, listen and check. Musa, listen and check. Listen and check. Multiple choice. Then we go to answer the questions. Okay. Siham, listen and check. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Number one, we start with prediction. Prediction tasks is the pre-lesson activities. Look at the picture with the title. Pre-teach vocab. Okay, prediction tasks. Okay, good. While listening, we start with the recognition. Remember this one. A recognition task. You have just to recognize. Why? Because it's difficult. It's hard. It's very challenging for our learners to listen and write at the same time. It's difficult for our learners to listen and write at the same time, especially in the first listening. So please, the first listening, the task must be based on recognition. Listen and write T or F. That's it. Listen and tick the right answer. Listen and choose the right answer. That's it. Now, students they become familiar with the text. The second listening, then they can listen and answer the WH questions. Listen and justify. Is it clear so far about the order, about the complexity of the listening tasks? Yes, is it clear? Thank you. Now, when I train my trainees and I ask them to make a lesson plan, one of the common mistakes they make is that when it comes to the why lesson activities, they start with an activity, listen to the tape and write true or false justify. The second activity is listen to the tape and check the right answer. Yeah, it's difficult because the first listening must be based on recognition task. Listen and check. Listen and write T or F, that's it. The second one is difficult. Listen and write. Listen and answer the WH questions. Okay. And here Ismail said on YouTube, what do you think, sir, about pre-vocab teaching both in listening and reading? Yes, pre-teach vocab because there are some keywords in the listening text or in the reading text that they may block the students. They may put some obstacles for our learners to understand the text. These are the key terms. It's your job in the beginning, in the pre-stage, to choose 4, 5, 3, etc. vocab. These are very important and you teach them in the beginning. I give you the example of the hobbies. The text is about hobbies. And the text may have got difficult words like flying a kite, swimming, doing karate, etc. They may not know them. So you have to pre-teach them. You can use pictures, definitions, etc. I hope, Ismail, my question is clear, or my answer, sorry. Is it clear so far? No question, please. Wahid said 5 out of 5. Thank you. Very positive feedback. Thanks a lot. Great. Now, there is another technique that I mentioned it last time is think, pair, and share. One of the most techniques that you can use in your everyday classes. When there is a task, most of the time I said, now, I want you to think about this. Okay. About this task, those students are thinking. Okay. Listen and answer the WH questions. They are thinking, okay, listening and 3 minutes. Okay, now can you compare with your partner, compare with your neighbor, and they compare. Then someone to share, stand up, share. So think, pair, share. Why? Because learning is an ongoing process, step by step. This is one of the best, and students feel at ease because they think, then they compare, and then they feel confident, they feel at ease, they feel comfortable to answer and to face the whole class. All right. Thank you. So let's move on to the next slide. Now, classroom application. It's your job, our audience on YouTube and participants on Zoom. This is a recording. This is a listening text. You read it, then you design a sequence of tasks for this recorded text that you could use with a group of beginner learners. Remember, beginner learners, the level. Write at least 2, 3. So you are going to write at least 2 pre-listening and 2 while listening and 1 post-listening task. Is it clear so far? Great. Please, 5 minutes. Think, pair, and share. Thank you. All right, so here someone said, think, pair, and share may cause the COVID-19 coronavirus. Yes, even the communicative language teaching approach, if you use it in your classes, everyone will be infected by the virus. All right, so yeah, but we can depend on distancing. Okay, great. Yes, so let's get started. Any volunteer for the first one, 2 pre-listening tasks. Yes, anyone, any volunteer? So Firdaus on YouTube said that pre-listening task, I can provide students with some keywords to motivate them and enable them to understand the listening checks such as consulting room, L, sick, cough, symptoms. Wonderful. Leila Shakira, while or pre-listening, I will show students a picture of a doctor and ask them who suffers from fever. I will ask them, what do you see? What does this person suffer from? Great. Very interesting, by the way. These are lead-in questions, visual aids. Thank you. Great. So let's see here. Buza Siham said, listen to the script and choose the correct answer. All right. So here there is Sana. Yes, please use the mic. Ben Dawood, stage 1, teacher pre-teach some key vocab. Like cough, sneeze, prescription. Ilham, pre-listening task starts with pre-listening vocab. Firdaus, I can also use pictures as visual aids in the pre-listening task to activate student schemata. Great. Any volunteer? Yes, please use the mic. Sana, again, activate your mic. Yes, please, Sana, do you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Do you want to say something about the first?
I'm still thinking.
Yeah. Do you have a question, please? Okay, thank you. Rabia said, pre-listening, I will pretend that I have a headache. Thank you. Using body language. Great. All right. That's really interesting. Sukaina said, the pre-listening, it's about brainstorming, asking them, have you ever been to a hospital? Why? Then trying to use the difficult words and explaining them. Great. Rahim, using visual aids for the symptoms. Mariam, what do you think about the COVID-19 pandemic? 2, is COVID-19 very dangerous? 3, for what the patient is suffering? What's the best way to get healthy? 5, write a short story telling you about the COVID pandemic. Great. Wahida, pre-listening stage, we can mind the actions and use body language. Very interesting. Thank you. Buddha Siham, using flashcards related to health. Thank you. Yes, you can use visual aids. You can start with pre-teach vocab, leading questions, brainstorming, etc. Thank you. Now, what about the 2 while listening? The 2 while listening. Give me 2 examples. Okay, 2 while listening. Yes, the 2 while listening. Rima Amrar acts as I have the flu and asks students, to whom do you think I should consult? I feel ill. Yeah, now we move to the second stage. Bizri Muhammad said we start with recognition task. Give me some examples. Ilham Zgwini on YouTube said, I may bring medicines and pills to the classroom as realia, as a strategy in pre-listening task. Wonderful, very interesting idea. Firdaus, I can use true false statements for students to check their understanding, as well as WH questions so that they can produce their own language. Here, Sarah said, while listening, number one, listen and match the haves. Great. Number two, listen again and reorder sentences. Wonderful. Sukaina, listen and check, then listen and answer. Great. Rahima, Sloom, WH questions. Badaud, listen and check, true or false. Sana'a, listen and match, then WH questions. Wonderful. Nasira started with multiple choice. Very interesting. Thank you. Now we agreed that we can start with recognition task. Listen and check. Listen and write T or F. Listen and match. Listen and choose the right answer. The second activity, listen and answer. Listen and answer the WH questions. Listen and justify. Wonderful. Now, what about the last stage, the post-listening task? Give me just one. Siham, dialogue. Wonderful. For communication or communication purposes. Dialogue, great. Sibyl, write a similar dialogue, great. Musa, acting the text, role play, wonderful. Bizri, role play. Wahida, role play. Nasir, act a dialogue. Tariqa, write a short conversation. Miriam, write a short story about themselves. Leila, listen. WH question. Sarah, Dilmi, imagine a situation and write about it. Bizri Muhammad, a summary. So there are different, but here it's Muhammad Bizri. It's for beginners. Are you going to give them to write a summary for beginners? What do you think? Beginners. Mariam said no, no. Simple delivery is important. I'm sure no. Rahim, it's hard for them. Wahida, no. Just to act it, wonderful, no. Because the level, they are beginners. They may not know how to write a summary, because summarizing is difficult, is another skill. Wonderful. So here the best is to write a short dialogue, okay, to imitate, to act it out, to describe. Wonderful. Now, this task, the last task, what about the mode of work, the interaction, the pattern of work? Is it solo work, pair work, or group work? What do you think? Rima Amrar said in pairs, and pair work. Sarah, pair work. Yeah, Leila, pair work. Group work. Sukaina, pair work. Sarah, and then share with the whole class. Good. Firdaus said in the post-listening task, I can ask students to use a role play relating to the topic of the audio. Buza Siham said demonstrate using learning styles to communicate. All right, great. So very important to take into account the level of your learners. So here the best is to use, as Rahim Salum, think, write, pair, and share. So pair work would be the best, or group work. But solo, maybe not, because it's a dialogue. It's a conversation. So here Saeed Yusfi says pair work. Siham, group work. Thank you. Okay, that's interesting. Great job. So shall we move on to the next slide? Yes, please. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. The next one is recommendations. It's very interesting to get some recommendations about how to teach listening actively. Okay, so let's see these recommendations. This is the first one. Now, when you want to sit a task, when you want to design your activities, you think about motivate, how to motivate your learners, how to involve your learners. Number two, use the student's knowledge, activating your student's schemata. You facilitate, so the task you use should facilitate the learning process. You pre-teach key vocab, very important. You create interest, you activate, you involve prediction. These are very important things or tips to take into account when setting tasks. Prediction tasks, and then recognition tasks, and production tasks. So these are very motivate, involve, activate their schemata, facilitate, pre-teach vocab, create interest, prediction, etc. This is number one. Okay. Number two, you should know about the active listening tasks. How to teach listen actively? Using what? Using active listening tasks. How? Number one, you start with prediction tasks. Look at the picture, read the title, guess, pre-teach vocab, brainstorming, word map. Okay, so prediction, use students' life, knowledge, okay, of life. It's activating student schemata. It's very important because prediction tasks paves the way to the main dish, which is listening to the tape, to the audio, to the recording. Number two, prediction tasks, sorry, recognition tasks, true, false, tick, order numbers, sequence. These are the order. There is no room for writing. There is room only for listening and you tick, because it's easy for our learners to listen and tick, to listen and to put into order 1 or 2 or A or B, to listen and to put this sequence. It's very easy. And your job as a teacher is to facilitate. How can you facilitate the learning process of your learners? Is to start with prediction tasks, recognition tasks, then the production tasks. Okay. So no questions so far about these things? Any questions or comments so far, please? Sam said obvious, thank you. Musa, clear, thanks. Rabia said yes. Leila Hassan, yes. Hindberry, thank you. It's I mean here our inspection from Algeria. Yes, thanks for your participation. Thank you. Great. Now, please, tomorrow we are going to have a very important lesson. Is about, can you guess? Do you remember? About what? About, yes. Can you guess tomorrow's lesson? Sibyl said writing. What do you think? No, it's not writing. Musa, how she's speaking now. Nasira, error correction now. Design a lesson plan. Thank you, Idris and Sana. It's a short course, so we cannot cover all the skills. So tomorrow we are going to cover a very interesting lesson, how to make a good lesson plan. Lesson planning, how to design a lesson plan. And please, tomorrow, and as I told you from the very beginning, this free 25-hour course, it's a combination theory and practice. So there is the micro teaching. Okay, this is the micro teaching. And after lesson planning, I would like to get some volunteers. Okay, who would like to teach? I mean, who would like to do the micro teaching online? You are going to teach a lesson okay, for 15 minutes, because the micro teaching, you will focus only on one particular area. You can focus only on the pre, or you can focus on the while or the post. Or in the pre, you can focus only on the pre-teach vocab, or you can focus only on guessing sub-skill, etc. Okay, so you will have 15 to 20 minutes to teach a part of the lesson, not the whole lesson. Okay, but before that, we are going to have, experienced teachers. They are going to teach online, and your job is to observe their ways of teaching. So please, on WhatsApp group, if you are interested, let me know. And the lesson you are going to teach, we have 4 lessons. Grammar and vocab, reading and listening. These are the lessons you should teach. Okay, so that's why our free 25-hour course is a combination of the 2, theory and practice. Okay, great. So no questions so far? Okay, if there is no question, no comment, yes, please, I guess we can call it a day. Thank you. Okay, great. So again, I would like to thank all of you, our participants from more than 30 countries. And specifically, I would like to thank our participants from Algeria. We have a lot of Algerian teachers, inspectors who are following us. You are really doing a great job. And we are proud of you, our great neighbors. And of course, in the coming days and weeks, we are going to have very interesting programs about TESOL and TEFL. Okay, thank you. So I guess let's call it a day. Thanks a lot. And it's the end. Yeah, it's my pleasure. Okay. Great. So let me stop sharing. I guess, Sana, you want to say something before I stop? Yes, any question? All right, no question, no. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Sibyl from Turkey, you have any comment, any question? All right, great. Thank you. Yes, so the majority said, yeah, it's clear. So thank you. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day and stay safe. Bye.